Have you got any advice for 21-year-olds who seem pretty lost and they don't really know which direction to go in?
If you don't know what to do, don't go to university. If you know what you want to do and you need a university degree to do it, then obviously pursue that. If you don't know what you want to do, going to university is going to burn 3 or 4 years of your time and likely get you into a bunch of debt and a bunch of trouble that you don't need. If you don't know what you're doing, avoid university. Step number 1. 2, don't waste time on frivolous pursuits. Stop trying to live like the man unless you've actually become the man first. And that means women. Stop trying to get laid all the time and get beautiful women. Because if you are a nobody, the time and effort it's going to take into convincing a really beautiful woman to go to bed with you is much less time than it would take me or Mike, because we are a somebody already. So you're burning your hours. Don't chase women too much. Don't chase having fun too much. Don't chase clout too much. Don't try to be seen in cool places that you can't actually afford to be in. Dubai is a very good example of this, because Dubai is a place where people can look like they're doing something big when they're doing absolutely nothing at all. There are hotels in Dubai, like the hotels I stay at, that are 1, 2, 3 grand a day, 10 grand a day. They do exist. And there are also hotels in Dubai up near the old town where, you know, the laborers and the workers stay that cost $35, $40, $50 a day. That does happen. You could fly to Dubai with no money, because men don't have the ability to just, you know, hit dating apps in Dubai and live the good life. They come to Dubai with their friends. They have no money in their pockets. They have a nice shirt that they'll wear, fine. And they'll take a taxi from their really cheap hotel down to downtown, picture in front of the Burj Khalifa, click, picture in front of a Lamborghini, click. Now they're a guy with a picture in front of a Lamborghini in Dubai. They're a guy who hangs out in Dubai now. He's at the Burj Khalifa. He makes less than $1,000 a month, probably. You know, people do this. They literally clout chase based on location. And that is the biggest waste of time that I've ever heard of. You know, the effort it takes to pretend short term will make you look richer or cooler or more successful than you are. But if you take all the time that you spend pretending and actually invest it into trying to become what you're pretending to be, you'll get there.
There's a lot of people in today's world who lack a strong father figure and a role model, both men and women. What advice could you give to those people who don't have that strong father figure?
You know, I'm not really one to feel sorry for people that much because of the way that the internet has changed the world. I believe that people have positive role models and examples thrown in their face all the time. I feel like to sit back and say, oh, well, you know, I'm just a video game porn addicted playing, you know, guy with no muscles and no physique and no physicality. Oh, well, it's because I haven't got a positive role model. I feel like today isn't an excuse. Every single second that you're scrolling on your phone or looking at Instagram, etc., there are dudes out there who you'd want to be like, but it's easy. It's easier to sit around and play video games and masturbate than it is to get the money to buy real supercars and seduce beautiful women in the real world. It is much easier. And because it's easier, I feel like a lot of people don't want to weigh out. So I don't need to give them advice. I feel like the advice is out there. If you're watching this and that describes you, good. At least you're listening to people with a healthy mindset who maybe can inspire you a little bit to try to be like that. But the type of person who really needs this advice and isn't going to get it is never going to watch this. They're not going to look at the photo of you there with your shoulders, etc., standing next to me with all my whatever car I'm next to and think, I'm going to listen to these two. So those people aren't watching. So we don't need to worry about them, you know? Just let them, you know, flip our burgers and cook our meals. It's the old saying of, you know, you become the average of the 5 people you hang around with the most. That's older than the internet. That saying it predates the internet. But essentially it means the 5 people who influence you the most. And, you know, if you do live alone or if you don't have many friends or you don't have a big group of people, what you're watching and what you're listening to influences you massively. So yeah, cut the crap out. Exactly the same with a healthy diet. It influences your health. A healthy mind is exactly the same thing. Scrolling up and down Netflix, watching trash all day is not going to get you anywhere in life, literally, ever. Whereas, you know, you might hear a piece of advice in a podcast that, you know, makes you wake up and think, you know what, I actually need to get my shit in order. So yeah, be careful what influences you.
A lot of guys will look at you and say, okay, well, he's 6'4", handsome as fuck, good beard, rich. His brother's Andrew, and I'd love to hear what you have to say about that.
Well, like you said, I mean, the 6'4" thing, fine. I would have been tall regardless.
Right.
I would have been 6'4". But if I was a really skinny dude
who, you know, had no money, sat at home playing the Xbox. You know, I'd have no receipts on social media. No one would know who I was. You know, I'd probably have a patchy beard because of low testosterone, because I've never done any training in my life. That guy's not getting laid. 6'4" or no 6'4". And what people don't want to hear is that to become Tristan Tate was a slow process of hard work that took me 15 years. And I'm still working on myself. I think the Tristan Tate in 3 or 4 years is going to be a much better version of who I am now.
Right.
And what a lot of people want to do is blame their circumstances, but they don't understand that. I mean, height aside, you could change every circumstance about you. You could change how handsome you are. You could change how fit you are, how strong you are, how rich you are, how smart you are. I'll talk to women about intellectual things and, you know, books I've read and, you know, history and so, you know, I love this stuff. But why do I know all that? I couldn't afford a university education. I educated myself. So a lot of the things women like about me, my height aside, you know, I created for myself. And I would much rather have everything else. So you dudes who are out there who are 5'8", why aren't you jacked and smart and rich and driving a fucking Lamborghini, you know, and charming and funny, and, you know, why aren't you?
Right.
But what, you'll have none of those things, and you'll be like, oh yeah, Tristan, well, you're 6'4", as though everything else wasn't my own creation, wasn't my own hard work, because it was. Well, the journey is massively important, because, you know, today we're in a bit of a fucked up situation where a lot of people, from basic things like pumping cryptocurrency, can make too much money without learning any of the lessons of life. Some people basically get lucky. It's like winning the lottery. If you've bought some crypto coin and now you have like $100 million because you caught some crazy pump, I mean, yeah, cool, you had the foresight to buy that coin, but tens of thousands of other people put money into other coins that didn't blow up. It's essentially like a lottery win. And when I see young guys who are too wealthy at such a young age from doing something that took so little skill and so little hardship, I just know that they are not prepared to have that kind of money. Like, all right, you have millionaire, you are a millionaire, but you don't know what it takes to be a millionaire because you've never had to go through any struggle. And yeah, the journey is super important. The setbacks and the bad things that happen to you make you stronger, sharper, more intelligent. People don't develop any knowledge or culture if they run into money too fast. And there's no one easier in the world to scam, to hustle, to finesse, someone who ran into a bunch of money accidentally. Bro, if I worked for my money and and I've learned all these lessons along the way, and I've had to literally suffer to get to where I am, ain't no girl gonna show up at my house and finesse me out of shit. Like the people who are getting finessed by these, especially women, who are like, you know, dating like 5 or 6 guys, got 5 or 6 boyfriends, all paying them allowances and stuff. Those are guys who made money too fast or too easily. Most of the time, because, you know, if you worked hard for it, you ain't gonna give it away that easy. And I would also say, you're missing out on high quality women as well. Because if you look like a punk and you've got a bunch of money, you might think, oh, I'm surrounded by beautiful women, I'm having sex with beautiful women. Yeah, beautiful on the outside, not beautiful on the inside. Because you're not gonna meet those women who aren't in the finesse game. Those women who are in the finesse market, I'm gonna go and finesse some guy. Those aren't the type of women you really wanna be dealing with anyway. Because I've met a few. They're low quality people. Not low quality women, they're low quality people in general. And the girl who still believes in true love, wants to be swept off her feet, who's actually going to give you a loving, caring relationship, you're not going to run into her just sitting there with all your money being surrounded by these sharks. Yes. You're not going to run into her. So you're missing out on the best side and the better side of women also. So you need to level up. And being broke and slowly making your money will teach you game. Yep. Because you learn it at all stages. You learn from, you're like, okay, I've got enough money to buy this girl 2 drinks. Let me make the conversation last longer. You go from there till, you know, I'll just invite 30 girls to the club and see what happens. You know, you see it every step of the way up. You will never learn game faster than when you need to find a girl to take you home because you ain't got a place to sleep. You're never going to develop game faster than when you're thrown in that kind of deep end. Shit, okay, I'm going to go 1-bedroom apartment. Andrew's in there. Fucking, I don't want to fuck her on the couch. Let me try and talk to this girl. And she's got her own place. Okay, how do I get laid tonight to make her take me back to her place? You got to think on your toes. And the developing game is when you're broke and when you're up and coming and when you're struggling in the world. That is a massive way to develop. And especially nowadays, young men. Let me tell you something. Nobody is doing it. Go to your local bar, local club, look at some pretty girls and go up and talk to them because no one's doing it anymore. Your age. The only people going up and talking to them are people like me.